He never was. He always found some way out. And then he was
about the Russians. He was not much. He thought that they are allies and he didn't understand.
He was working for the Americans, they were allies for America, never thought the Russians would be against him. And it was naive. I told him several times, don't be so naive to the Russians, and don't be so naive to everybody, you get through everywhere. But still, the Russians, you don't know them. I don't know either. Still, somehow
Baroness, did you and your husband talk politics at all during I mean, you had been married 2 years
I've been
before.
so tired in the evening. He was tired in the evening. Much about it. He just said, well,
Before you were married?
oh, well, I didn't know it. What did you hear that part? Didn't know it. Then I found out
He
it was very
said,
very good.
did he say that he belonged to an organization in Hungary?
No, he didn't. And I think when we got engaged, he didn't come.
Yeah. He had some, he was not a military man.
No, he was working for the States. He was more, he was working under certain lawyers. Victor was his chef. So he was a journalist.
Was he a lawyer?
Well, he was a doctor for
Yeah.
You know, he only told me after I know you earlier. I didn't know. I was from South Korea, I was from Italy. I didn't know this was other. I never knew. He was all a little bit. Oh, I knew that.
Yeah.
Baroness.
Yes, you were.
But I didn't know everybody else.
Baroness, were you aware of the negotiation, the time where Eichmann tried to negotiate with the Jewish leadership as to for ransom?
There was a very silly thing that the Brits and the Americans went to Russia, what I was thinking about 10,000 trucks for food or whatever.
Money and trucks, yes.
They said, what? I mean, how can you believe a thing like that? That was Russian and that was American and Great Britain. And
Yes.
they said, well, anyhow, if you do it for free, we have to ask the Russians. And they did, never said. I think first.
Do you remember the
That's
name
it.
Costa? You remember?
Yes, I think, yes, I think if they had given it what Eichmann wanted, wouldn't let them.
In other words,
In the beginning, you
would
see,
you-
they could go out the beginning.
Baroness, would you agree that it was bigotry and anti-Semitism existed not only in Hungary but in the United States?
That's what I told you.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. I'm sorry. I missed the conversation.
If Great Britain hadn't shut the doors
No.
very tight, very tight, and no, from several said only cousin and uncle they could go to. I know it, friend of mine. And America has cut down the thing to get in for immigration. Cut down in your Christians. Nobody knew it about it. Then Israel shut.
Well,
Only
at that time,
60,000
Israel,
a
that
year.
was a
Great
policy.
Britain.
Okay.
Great Britain.
Oh, Great Britain. They were no
The
friends.
whole
Jews or
world
friends.
shut the door. Why have it open? If you had opened it like Weiss, I mean the Weiss, they bought them set free, they went to the porter. The sister lived, the daughter lived in Munich and all that. But you know, they should have only opened the door, opened it. They didn't. They didn't want to have all they do from Leeds. I think something like that was happening.
I live in Albany, New York, and the state of New York established a commission. There's a permanent exhibition on the Holocaust of the Oswego incident. Are you familiar with the Oswego incident? Is that finally the United States consented to accept 980 refugees. 980.
What's that?
That's what it
It's
is. That's what it
ridiculous.
is.
I know they cut down immigration.
980. By the way, they were not 100%. There were among them about 80 or 90 also Christian people who arrived in New York and finally allowed to be interned in Oswego, New York, and saying that they have to, after the war is over, they might have to go back, but never materialized. Today in Albany, you visit your state capital, you're New Yorker, you'll see an Oswego exhibit of the Holocaust, that the Oswego incident.
I have to repeat some of the questions, but I think it's important for their explain how you came to be involved in helping Wallenberg.
Well, I explained it today, really, but I saw a procession going by my windows, and I saw with my own eyes, windows of the fields, I was seeing, and I saw these old people, young people, children, just shuffling around like that. And I asked the police, what's that, what's happening with them? And he told me, oh, they're just going to work. Was this a big lie? I didn't follow it. So I told him, now really, I think all this propaganda is not only propaganda. And then I made up my mind to help them. They do it. So I asked some ladies of the government I knew, and to help me too, and they didn't. Because they said, well, I'm fearing this and that.
You spoke to some of
And then
the other
Wallenberg came
wives. Tell me, the wives in the cabinet,
Of the cabinet.
Yes, you spoke to those women and asked whether they would try to do something. That's very interesting. And they refused to.
You see, whole Budapest was fearing somebody. They feared the government. Oh, I don't know, feared losing the position of the husband. I don't know. And the other ones feared the SS, and the other ones feared the diplomatic legation, German one, Wesenmann, and so on. Everybody was fearing something. I was called Nost, and I really did not fear.
You weren't.
Because I knew that my husband would always stand behind me. He would always protect me, and what he did.
You felt secure in that.
I felt secure in that. And you see, then Wallenberg came around, and he was looking for somebody in the government, high ranked up. And the best was, of course, the minister, foreign minister.
I see.
And I wanted to look out for some organization. So he was that, and I was that, and we worked together. And that's solution of that enigma. Everybody's writing in books. You will never know why that young lady was so friendly, so quickly, and worked so much with the Swedish men. Oh, Mrs. Jewel. So explanation.
Yeah.
But neither nor. That was the reason. So nobody knew that, but Wallenberg. Because he came then to me, or we met somewhere, and he talked to me about this and that case and so on. I mean, he explained.
He told you what he was doing.
Yes.
He said,
the only thing I was seeing passing by. And she told me a lot, and he brought people to me to look at them and so on. So I got to know them, you see.
So he said that he had a method by which he was able to save some Jews.
Yeah, but he never told me about he was working for, of course not. No, he never told me that he was working for the Americans. I never asked. I mean, he didn't ask me.
In fact, he was a Swedish diplomat.
He was a Swedish diplomat. He came from the government to save the Jews. That's it. That's all I knew. Was quite enough for me. I mean, I knew Daniel is quite nice too. That he's a chef. He was a minister there. But he looked for some. Being a diplomat, the minister foreign office was a giant minister for him. See, so he wanted to know somebody there, and it was me and my husband. Me.
Did you meet often with Wallenberg?
Well, we rang up each other very often. I always knew where to find him, and he always would
You
find me.
spoke on the telephone most of the time.
And then we met. He had to explain me this and that, and then sometimes it was so down for him. So we just said about me. That's the only thing we did sometimes, not very often, you see. Because he always wanted something. I mean, he was always in need of something. I understand, see.
So he appealed to you when you had a problem?
No, not only to me. He came to my husband quite a lot of time.
He did.
Oh, yes. And then he wrote long memos in French. Beautiful French, I must say that.
Mm-hmm.
Very nicely
Yes,
written.
he was very fluent in French. I know.
And you see, my husband sometimes got a little bit angry, especially when these huge flowers came after the passport, the buttons of the ceiling. I said that, well, I mean, you and your friend Wallenberg give me quite a lot of work to do. I can only work for him, and you have something besides it. That was the only remark he ever made, more or less. He knew him, of course, too. I mean, he was friendly with the old irrigation. He knew them all, you see, my husband. It was his side was the irrigation, you see. There was the Portuguese, there was Spanish. Some was the count, what was his name, I've forgotten now. Because Portuguese chargé d'affaires left, I think something. So was it again? I forgot. Pongat. Pongat.
You did mention before that your husband at first didn't want to help, but you
I don't
really pressured
know. No,
him.
I don't think so. Because when he went to know about this horrible death march and so on, he was just taking so much of us. I'm going back. I don't want to have any more be a minister. I don't like. He gives me this mission first time. No, I mean, he did. Perhaps I didn't know. He knew quite a lot of Jews, and he helped them personally. He had a very good friend who studied with us. He lives now in Spain, you see. And then the mother went to England, the brother went to England, and he remained, having my husband as a good friend, you see. When they saved him somehow. Well, he wasn't against, let's say, on the whole against Jews. He wasn't at all, really. And he saved them several ones, you see, when I left over there.
So you feel that he joined the Our Cross government without being against Jews, without...
Well, you see, there was a Minister of Interior was very much against. And he was going there. He wanted us to make it clean of Jews and to send them to Germany to work. He was menacing against it. And his brother was the leader of the other cross. So he had the gendarme, police and other crosses, he was rather mighty. And I had to fight him.
But the Arrow Cross government, as soon as they came to power, immediately the first thing they did was invalidate the Schutz passes by which...
But that was the Minister of Interior. It wasn't the government. It was the Minister of Interior and I think Sandership too, that I can't remember. Written all over the newspaper from this day on, they have abolished and so on. I've never seen Wallenberg like that. It was just out. You implored me and my husband to do something. We are the only people who can save something. I never saw him like that. But he knew that if the parcel would have been abolished forever, his work would have been finished being a diplomat. He couldn't go underground. So therefore, it was rather very hard.
Did you talk to Wallenberg only about these crucial things?
No, sometimes about music. Poor man, he was so tired. About music, that was all.
He loved music, I know.
Yes. He wanted to go to opera once, but I think I can't remember. I think we never did. We had no time.
Yes. And can you remember what was the last time you saw him? Could you describe that?
Of course I know. You see, I left the beginning of December, was the 3rd or the 4th, not by train, like the devilish film is doing it, by car. I had my chauffeur with me, and I had my cook with me, because my husband said, where do you take her? Yeah, because I want to be back in 3 weeks. And then I had 2 cars to protect me, you see. And then I went to Vienna. I wanted to go that awful road to see it was there. I passed the night in Vienna, and then I went on. I passed the night in Innsbruck, but I couldn't go on. It was too much for the baby. 3 weeks after the baby was born. There was a big tragedy, because if the baby wouldn't have been born, first of all, I wouldn't have lost everything. So naive. He got through everywhere, but he couldn't get through with the Russians. And I was scared of the Russians.
Yes, of course.
My husband fought against communism. That was the reason for his being, of course, to be the last thing against communism. They couldn't have it, the one couldn't have it. They were very similar both. A little bit, that's all. They're very idealistic.
When did you learn that it's possible that Wallenberg is not dead and has not disappeared? When did you discover this? Do you know?
Well, I didn't know it for years on, and then I heard, I don't know. Somebody wrote it to me. Somebody, but I can't remember. That he's been seen in Russia by that famous Italian diplomat, the Moro.
Yes.
They came to me because they live in Italy, and then somebody else and so on. But that's all. Nobody knows really what it is.
So, were you ever in touch with Wallenberg's sister after?
No, you see, they found out about me about the 80s, I think. They covered all the actors of the Foreign Office. They were opened. And there was a Swedish man, his name is Schöpfis, and he was looking for, well, after all her names coming up, that lady must live still somewhere, but
I
where?
see.
But he told me,
was
look,
found it in the Foreign Office documents.
Foreign Office document, that's right.
That's
and then he told me he looked for about 2 years, I don't believe it, perhaps for a year, I don't know. And then he found me through London by a Hungarian lady who married Lord Listowel, and she was working for the Times. And she rang her up. And she said, well, I shall ring up a cousin of mine who lives in Munich. She might know something. She knew me very well. So the next thing was coming from Stockholm, the telephone call. And then he came for about 4 days. It was very hard on me. I didn't want to go to the house, really.
Yeah.
And then he just came and said, well, you've been at a zone that always dancing. I said, what's this? I see. Well, you've been doing this and you've been doing that. Just wanted to try, just wanted to... I said, no, really, no. So they went on near half a night. I said, well, you come to my house tomorrow morning. It's enough for me now. And then slowly I began to talk, you see. And so all over the place you came to me.
Yeah. Do you feel that there is any chance of getting Wallenberg back?
If Gomika's dying, yes. He's old.
If what?
Gomika's no more. I mean,
If Gromyko is
as long as he lives.
Yeah.
But you think there might be a very big gesture of the side of Gorbachev. And I think he's the man who would do the gesture. But never Gromyko. He would lose his face forever. I mean, he can't do that. Gorbachev is a new man, and perhaps he would take a big gesture towards America to give back his honorary citizen. Yes. But as long as Gromyko's still alive, I don't know. But he's still the president now.
Yeah. What do you think of the fact that the Swedes with the U-boats that were found in their waters 2 years ago?
But the priest is gone now, I can say, but the truth, they're very coward.
The Swedes are coward.
My niece married a Swedish, I told you that, ambassador, so I can say it. I'm related somehow with Swedish. They're very coward.
Well,
For 200 years had no war anymore.
yeah,
They
but
didn't know
they
what
are afraid of the Russians. They really have reason to be afraid of the Russians, don't you
Well,
think?
I don't know.
Look at Finland. Look at, do they want to be
Yeah,
Finland?
but look at Scandinavia, I mean. And look, well, yes, you are right, Sam.
Yeah, they have
They are much too near.
much to do.
That's true, but still they couldn't attack Sweden. Now they couldn't do it.
They're more or less more safer than shooting.
We're going to follow you with the camera. You're going to take our tax? Well, that and, you know. How about doing it this way? I could walk in front of you.
I didn't know what the company said. No need.
Because out of doors. Yeah, I think I have. But you don't see them all. They're all there. Same color.
They're going to be looking from the bottom up.
Doesn't matter. Come home and after anyway. Just go to midnight too. Okay, bye.
Call it midnight.